Yes, I do have some very exciting news. I have just been offered an incredible job. Something I've done before, but in a different country. I am going to go green again. Only this time stateside. Yes, I'm going back to America to play Alpha on Broadway. How did it all come about? Well, a very, very long time ago actually. It was at the beginning of this year. We had just got our closing notice for Last Ship, sadly. And it's the same director of The Last Ship as Wicked, Joe Mantello. And I had a cheeky little conversation with Joe, wondering, did he need an Irish lass to play a particular green girl anytime soon? And he actually thought that's quite a good idea. So I quite literally got the ball rolling on this, and you don't ask, you don't get. And I knew Alpha had just went in, so it had to be at the end of her contract, which is coming up very soon. So yeah, I asked and they said yes. So I couldn't believe the call came through when it did, even though it had been, could have been happening. But it was like being handed £1 million in a phone call from my agent, and I mean, until I am standing on that stage will I believe it. But I think the older you get, the more you try and contain your emotions. And if you'd asked, if this had happened 4 years, 5 years ago, I think I would have actually lost my voice from screaming. But I think the older you get, the more cynical you become, and you become less excited about the dreams that you've always often dreamt and thought about. And it's wonderful because it's only until you're asked do you remember what it felt like. So thank you for asking, because it's amazing. I told my husband, yes, of course I did, my beautiful husband Guy, and we screamed and jumped and danced, and you know, and then we went, oh, okay, we have to move our whole life up again and go, and you know, then again all the adult things come into play, like the house and Ben, and but that's just material, small things that us actors, directors deal with, I think, as part of the job.
Once I had a secret love.
You guys have to do it all the time.
It is so hard. It is, for me, it is so hard. I love telling people good news, but until it's definite, you can't tell anyone. Oops. But again, it's like, you have to be an adult about it. It's great. It's like all your Christmases at once, but you need to just keep it under wraps. Tell your friends, very close friends, and family. But it's painful. It's so painful. And people are like, so what's happening next? And you're like, nothing. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, it does mean I have to do it with an American accent, which is fine, I hope. Yeah, no, I mean, when in Rome, and I look forward to doing an American accent. Although it might take me a couple of weeks to get my tongue and my head and my ear around it. And I will probably have acting or dialect coaching over there. But growing up with musicals, mainly American shows, I've got a good ear for an American accent. I think the Irish accent's quite close to, we roll our R's like the Americans. Hopefully it's okay.
It'll be fine.
Someday there will be a celebration throughout ours. That's all to do with
I could definitely not just slap on the makeup and go and play alphabet. No. You're talking about Rachel Tucker. I need rehearsal. I need to go back to the drawing board, go back to the book, and I would like to revisit it with fresh eyes. It was the same with the last ship. We had a break, and the second time round, I felt like I got handle on the role, the character a bit more, and it's kind of like a second chance. So it definitely is important to see it with fresh eyes, and it's more interesting for me coming back to it again and making that happen, making her come alive again 4 years older, because I'm 4 years older, she's going to be a little bit older, even though she's at high school. So yeah, it will be. I'd like to think it's going to be a nice challenge. Most looking forward to in revisiting Alphaba, I think it's getting a deeper understanding of Alphaba. Like, I got the first two layers the first time round, and this time I want to bring something that if I was to look back and see videos of me doing it, I would go, oh, I missed that, and I missed that. I could do that better. I mean, in my mind's eye, I think I know where I can place that better as an actress and approach it from the text point of view before the music and the song. And I'm most excited about finding the change from the little girl to the woman, and especially through Divine Melody. So I'm very excited about that. and singing those songs again, and I just can't wait. I just want to give it a big hug. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
How excited are you to get to share the stage with him again?
I cannot wait to see Fred Applecake again, that's what we called him, Dora the Man, and we had numerous chats in the last ship of how he has not already been the wizard. It was like, that's a given. So, you know, it's perfect casting. I am delighted that he's going to be my wizard, and me himself, so can't wait to give him a big squeeze.
He's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the difference is going to be. I suppose I got a taste of it with the last ship, but it was a new show. There was much more involvement from new audience going to see a new show. So we had pretty much overwhelming appreciation and goodwill. So that, I don't think that's going to be as much, I think, because it's not a new show, but I think they're just going to love it for being wicked and this massive hit that it has become. I don't know how they're not going to love it as much as they did over here.
And though I'd never show it, I'd be so happy I could know.
The riff thing is, and you know, I know the fans are mad on it, and I do enjoy a riff. It can be self-indulgent, and that's when I don't like it. And I know it's a massive thing for fans, but unless you're playing it true to what it is and what the music is, and then, you know, maybe if you're feeling funky and great and on great form, and and then you let one go, as you do. I think it's fair enough, and as long as it needs to just be right. It needs to just be right, and I think that's when it's justified. So, I'm not ready to do a new set of riffs, or that's not what the way I feel about them. But I know how important it is to a lot of bands. So, you do think about it. So, it has to be a very healthy balance, I think.
When the winds from the eastern quake.
The last show on Broadway was, to date, the most incredible experience I've ever had. I got to originate a role, and I got to bring my Meg Dawson to life. It was a real challenge. I loved it, but it was hard work. You had to put a lot of emotion into absolutely, like, everything you were saying. You had to totally know your backstory, know where she came from. It was a joy once we got it, and it was an honour to be part of that cast, and the creative team was just mind-blowing, and to be and live in New York, the smell, the senses, the community in New York, and just to go to work every day was a joy. It was an absolute joy. And my best memory of the last ship, I think, they were all the best memories. It was like 4 months of joy. I suppose that connection with Michael on stage was a great thing to have. And the cast, I miss the cast. I really can't wait to see them. I really am yearning to go back to smell New York and feel and be part of that. It's such a vibe, it's such a buzz over there. It is so different to here, actually. Oh, all of them. We had some huge names coming to see the last ship. I mean, I was genuinely, I couldn't go near her. I was asked to come closer for a photograph to have it with a company, and I really was beside myself with Meryl Streep. I couldn't. I really had to catch my breath, and I've never been like that with anyone. Not Spielberg, not Tom Hanks, not Bernadette Peters. Shall I go on? It was mind-blowing. And the wonderful thing about it was that nobody knew who was in most nights. I mean, and I very specifically said I don't want to know who's in. I think it's important. It puts me off. I think about them. It's like, oh, stop it. It's distracting. So, Bill Clinton, and his wife were there. That was, Sting was there every night. That was every night. That was like I was in starstruck. So, it was incredible. Spielberg, that was like, Billy Connolly was hilarious, lovely man. Stephen Fry. God, it was amazing. Just incredible.
I'm in a New York state of mind.
Broadway was my favorite thing about New York. I adored going to Central Park with Ben and Guy and Barney, and we biked around Central Park with our friends. That was gorgeous. We had the most amazing apartment in Manhattan. We genuinely lived and breathed New York, Manhattan, and that was such an honour. It was such a pleasure. It was. I don't know if I'd live in Manhattan again, but it was such an experience. I like to be in Manhattan. No, it's the wrong American title. You know what I mean. The homework, being a mum, being a performer, it can be tricky, but you can make it less tricky by what you either choose to do or not do, as the case may be. I say no to a lot of things, because when I then do have to go and do like gigs or concerts, that I can really focus my energy and time on that one thing that means more to me, because family time is so crucial. It's so important, and it can be very tricky. We've had very touch and go moments where I thought I wasn't going to go on to a gig because literally guys in Germany and I've no babysitter, and you know, so there have been those moments. But my son is a treat, my husband's a gem, and I think the communication between Guy and I, it needs to be so strong, so open. We have a great work-home balance, and I think that's key to being able to work well. I will miss most my home and my friends and Penge, where we live, where we are right now, and because it's home, it's just home. You know, I was making some breakfast this morning, I thought, I remember in New York it feeling so alien, and me having to get used to opening different sets of cupboards and using different bowls, and how that became home. And it's how quickly you make that transition to make it feel like it's home now. I will miss the Bridge House, our lovely theatre. I miss being able to just jump in the car and go somewhere. You know, just things that are so amenable to me right now. Like, I know what tubes to get on, where I need to go. That's all everything is going to be so different and so alien. So I will miss just knowing my surroundings. But that's what this is about, so new surroundings.
You seem to have achieved everything you've set out to do so far. After Wicked, what is next on your list?
Oh, what is next? Wicked? No, but it's too far in advance. I have just moved agents, so we're starting to form a lovely bond. That's new as well. I mean, I've honestly, genuinely never considered living in America, in New York, for good, forever, until recently, and maybe until the last ship, and until then this Wicked, and it's made us consider, is that possible? Should we give that a go, that side? I mean, say give it a go. I think it chooses you. I have never had that hunger to want to go and move to America and just give it a go. I think because the work has chosen us and me and has brought us there, that's then now opened doors that I never necessarily would have went after. So that's a possibility, and I would also maybe like to start planting seeds for next year, for after Wicked, which is something I've never done before. So I would like to open ideas and suggestions for next year, and looking ahead as opposed to just sitting in a show, just thinking about whatever you're doing at the moment. So I would like to start thinking ahead, but whatever that is, I have no idea. But the thought's there. It's a bit like my album. It took me 3 years to think about it before I actually did it, so maybe it's an album. But yeah, I mean, it could be an album, it could be a baby. Who knows? So, Shilley's University begins on September 15th. Start rehearsals August 27th, open 15th September, and we go to mid-June. I think it's 12th, not sure, but around about then. Yeah, very, very excited. Can't wait to get that uniform back on. Hopefully it still fits.
So you're using yours?
I don't know, probably.
Don't know.
I'm sure it will be. I can't wait to go back and genuinely revisit Elphaba. I can't wait to see the differences in the American version of Wicked. The differences maybe there might be in little bits in the book. I know the broom comes on from a different place. I think all that's going to be interesting, and just to re-rehearse it with somebody else in America. I can't believe I'm saying this. And the fact that it is so important to me, because I watched Wicked with my mum and sister. Was it 12 years ago now? And I watched it, and I had so much hope and determination that I would play that part one day. But what I didn't even anticipate or didn't even wish for, because to play the role was the dream, but I had no idea that I would be doing it on Broadway. And I just can't wait to stand on that stage and look up to Mum and say, we did it. I just sang with Shoshana Bean, who was my first Elfie in America. It was the first time I saw the show, and Adina was off, and I was very devastated. And then Shoshana Bean came on. Wow, my life changed. And then I got to sing with her, so proper fangirls out. I loved it. She's an incredible vocalist and performer. I mean, I think she's an immense talent, and thanks for inspiring me. She was just a dream, a treat to sing with her. It was great.
Have you got any tips and tricks for any of your fans who have literally just hunted out the piggy dance for their Tucker on Broadway funds? Where do they simply have to visit besides Wicked on Broadway?
Oh, where do you start besides Wicked? You've got to go to Central Park. You have got to see the shows that you won't necessarily see here, which would be Fun Home Park. It's amazing. The Visit, although you'll miss Cheetah Rivera. What else is happening there? I can't remember. But just to live, just to be in Manhattan, in the city, it's the best thing. You've got to get to Brooklyn. It's gorgeous. Walk the bridge, and bike as much as you can, because it's a great way to see the city. Best. I'm wondering if there are any good fooderies. The pizza. Mama Joe's Pizza was just incredible. It was near us, near 28th on 8th Avenue. Amazing pizza. Well, thank you so much for watching and being so supportive, and God, it would be great to see as many of you over there as possible. Gershwin Theatre, Broadway, come see us.
Something has changed.